These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another How About Them Celtics video. Sam and I are here with one of our daily uploads, and there's no really reaction content here. This is just an idea we had that we
Welcome
wanted
to
to
July,
talk about.
buddy. This is a terrible time of year. They should all commissioners of professional sports in the United States should meet and realign the schedule so there's something besides baseball going on in July, August. It's unfair to baseball, and baseball doesn't suck by any means, but it's very difficult to follow it day to day.
Baseball kind of sucks.
I don't know. Baseball is one of the more fire things when it comes to October. The playoffs.
Yes, but
I love playoff baseball. Hanging on every pitch is fire.
It's only cool in October is the problem.
Yeah, well, they should have the playoffs now.
Sure. Yeah, I'll back that. But anyways, we wanted to talk about the Grant Williams trade today. It's a little bit old, but he's doing some media press conference stuff for the Mavs, and it really makes you think, like, we talked about this briefly on the last podcast. It's just not a good trade. It was a disaster.
I felt like they didn't get enough for Grant, and they gave up a piece that could really have played a bigger role in their future. Go on.
Agree. Grant Williams is still only 24 years old now. We'll turn 25 November 30th, so he's not super young, but he's a young enough piece where what'd you say?
I'm older than him.
Are you? When do you turn 25?
Yeah. What?
Hello? When do you turn 25?
October.
Oh, wow. Brutal.
Yeah. Old.
But for years, everyone talked about, the timelines. They need to fit the timeline with the Jays, and Grant Williams did that. And obviously, I'm biased because I'm a big Grant Williams fan, but you're not going to find a guy who can defend multiple positions and shoot 40% from three on the street. That's just not something you find. There aren't many of those guys in the NBA, and plenty of guys around the league shot 40% from from three this past year. But how many of those guys are also able to guard, Jokic for stints, able to guard Embiid for stints, but can also guard the perimeter a little bit? Like, as much as you want to laugh, like, he guards Jokic. Sure, he does. Like, he's a really good defender. How many people shot 40% from three this year? I think Grant was just on the line. I don't think he actually hit 40%. He was at 39.5. But, like, you look at some of these guys above him, like Luke Kennard's there, Horford, Lee, Brogdon, Maxey. That's the top five. Of those guys, one's a plus defender, right? Of the top 5 3-point shooters, and that's Al Horford. And
Celtics got him.
Yeah, the Celtics got him, but there's just you'd be hard pressed to find another player. I'm trying to think of the way to phrase. Trading somebody who can do that for 2 second-round picks is bad. That's what I'm trying to say.
It doesn't feel like you're getting bang for your buck. You're trading away a rarity, as you just laid it out for everybody. For second rounders, which I personally do not find very valuable. Brad Stevens does find them to be valuable. He seems to have some master plan concocted for his pile of those late round picks.
My question is, do you think he saw this? As like, was this Brad's mind? He's like, if we get Porzingis, that's going to be a lot of money, so we can't pay Grant too. Like, do you think that's what the internal thinking was?
Maybe, but that, of all the things with the Porzingis domino, is the least important.
Yeah.
Because Porzingis coming in does leave a major, Grant's not going to be able to play here vibe.
Maybe.
Right? But the issue in that situation is not the money, it's the minutes. There's not enough wealth to go around on the actual court. Off the court, It shouldn't matter. And Grant Williams is one of the few guys they could have created an extra cap slot with by giving him a new contract. Even if they didn't like the idea of keeping Grant around, the number one make sense move to me was to keep him. And then if the opportunity arises, which it probably would have, trade him. That way you're still getting something and keeping the cap slot alive instead of relinquishing it for a mediocre TPE that the two of us don't care about.
Not going to use. They're not going to use it.
They're not going to use it. No. That's usually how it goes with these TPEs. It's not exciting. It's not going to help them win right now. It makes the Porzingis move have more weight to it, where not only do they lose Marcus Smart, But they also have given up Grant Williams essentially as part of the deal because they felt like there was just no place for him on the team anymore, which for now is absolutely true because you're still going to see Al Horford get a big chunk of minutes. You're going to see Rob Williams get a chunk of minutes, and Porzingis is going to play hopefully a lot of minutes. Now, where that becomes uncertain is the health of those three guys who traditionally, I mean, Horford's been pretty reliable, but the other two have had their history with injuries, even though Porzingis had a pretty good season in terms of that.
See, I think even that part's overstated. Like, I think Grant Williams still would have gotten 20-plus minutes on this team.
I don't think so. I just don't.
I think, obviously, Porzingis gets 30 minutes a night, right? He's going to play 30 minutes a night, but
Correct.
He's not going to play every night. Rob's probably going to sit around 25 to 32, but he's not going to play every night. Al Horford's probably not going to inch close towards 30 at all this season. He'll probably get around 24, 25 minutes a night in the regular season, right? And then you have to account for Smart's minutes. And even if you want to say a bulk of those will go to Porzingis and the two guards will pick it up, right? Like, who's your fourth big for when those guys don't play? Grant Williams. Would you play Grant Williams over Sam Hauser, O'Shea Brissett, and Jordan Walsh as the next up wing behind the Jays? I would. I think
if he's confident and under control, yes.
I think he's better than all those guys. I think you still would have seen him play 20 minutes. And I'm not saying it's like a disaster because they're losing a 20-minute plus player, because you can spread it out and there are ways to fix it. But like, he played 26 minutes a night in 79 games this past season. And obviously you saw Joe Mazzulla, like, him fall out of favor. But like, if Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are going to the head coach and saying, play Grant more, you got to imagine he was wanted. You got to imagine
Correct.
They knew the impact he brought. He was one of their better defenders. Not to mention, he was one of the only guys willing to like try for the majority of things. Like, there's this video of him. He was on Theo Pinson's podcast. And he talked about the beef with Jimmy Butler. We can listen to it here. Obviously he got crapped on for it, but after a little hindsight from us, like, it was more like good for Grant rather than, why did Grant do that? So this is,
I know everybody want to know
about it.
The hell did you say to Jimmy? You pissed him the f off.
Hey, listen, that's a funny thing. Funny going to happen. Like, we're playing that game. I think we're about 8. I'm playing well, and Jimmy says like, "Hell no, he ain't here."
Yeah.
So I made it 3. I
Cashed
said,
out.
I said, "Hell no, I'm here."
Yeah.
And I said that to him, barking,
Yeah.
because I'm not gonna let him. He said,
No,
"I'm
no,
not."
The stupid cast on his surgically repaired hand.
Yeah, right.
You're not gonna be that guy.
I never talk trash myself, and you know this.
Yes.
I'm not a trash talker. I'm too nerdy.
Yes.
So like, next thing you know, I said, "Hell, I'm here."
Nigga might say an algorithm
I
or
was
something.
just
That might be his comeback.
So next thing you know, that happens. The next play, Jimmy, hezzy, boom, boom, stop, pivot, and one.
Yes.
And
Before we move on, not
Jimmy,
convinced this is a
hezzy,
foul.
boom, boom, stop, pivot.
He kind of undercut.
He invades the space a little, I guess. I don't know.
Pivot, and one.
Yes.
And he
Play the
said,
clip.
"I'm here too, motherfucker." And so I'm like, we're going back and forth because, like, me, I'm not backing down. Like, that's
Yeah.
kind of what we
Yeah.
we were missing in that series. They were punking us the entire
For sure.
time.
It is
Sure.
very
So-
funny to hear this with him actually talking about it and giving
Yeah.
context to it. Because at the time it was like, what is this guy doing? Like, how stupid
Yeah.
could he be? But it's just funny imagining Jimmy Butler getting under Grant Williams' skin. Grant Williams, who by all accounts is pretty mellow and easygoing,
Yeah.
even though he does have the fire about him to, try and galvanize the team, as we kind of discussed as the series went on. But it's just funny, like, wow, Jimmy pissed him off enough to get him talking because he says it. He's nerdy.
Also, no one backed him up. Like, no one hyped him up when it happened. They were just all
Can
kind
you
of like,
make
"Yeah, whatever."
this still the thumbnail, please?
This it can go in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
We go back and forth, whoop whoop. And it's crazy that I always look back at him like, yo, I scored our last 10 points.
Yeah. You was going.
This is true. He scored the team's last 8 points. The Celtics did not have a field goal in the last 5 minutes outside of Grant Williams.
Yeah, they had a great fourth quarter in that game.
It's crazy. Everyone, I wrote about it after the game. I was like, everyone blames Grant Williams. He had the team's last 8 points, and nobody scored a field goal in the last, I don't know if it was 3 to 5 minutes outside of Grant Williams. And yet people are blaming Grant Williams for the loss. It's so backwards. He was the only one who tried.
Mad.
He was the only one who tried. He was the only one who scored, and no one backed him up. In a series, they were getting, like he said, punked in. I never understood.
I
how
felt terrible
people got
after,
it.
like, I calmed down and I was like,
Yeah.
wow, not that anybody really cared at the time, but I was like, wow, I really dragged Grant Williams a lot.
You
And like,
dragged
he
me
really,
for it.
yeah, he did not deserve it. Like, he just didn't. So I feel
No.
bad about it, but
No.
he got paid. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Going crazy.
And he had 8.
Yeah.
So like, but the difference is Strus made a 3, Vincent made a 3, so they ended up winning the game. If that doesn't happen, we win the game. No one brings that up. No
No
one
one
says
brings it
poke
up.
the bear.
Grant
stuff like
throwing
that.
his teammates under the bus. I need more help.
He's not wrong
Things, you know,
in that one
between
case.
me and DB is that like after the game, media, I was like, listen, bust my ass. Like, I'm gonna be able to come back next game. Like, I'm not running from nobody. I'm not scared.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get punked. Woo-doo-woo. Next game, you saw like I defended really well. He didn't play well. I blocked the shot, palmed it.
Yeah.
And
they lost
so
by
like Jimmy
30.
knows like this is all love because we're just competitors, like
Yeah,
naturally.
for
So
sure.
like afterwards, he even said he respect him, like stuff like that, because he's a competitive. I just normally do this to get myself going. And I respect it too, because everybody has their own thing. But ended up losing that series and it sucks because go to the finals, who knows what happens. But
Boy.
world works in mysterious ways.
Like, listen.
He's not wrong. I don't think he's wrong, but it's weird. I never blamed him for it. I know you got mad at me like immediately after the game when I was like, "Why are we mad at Grant
I
Williams?"
was just furious. Was that the show that we like started recording and then you left
Ooh,
because
I
I
think
wouldn't
that was
let you talk?
no. I think that was Philly series. I think that was the Philly series when I got mad. There was a lot of anger in the playoffs swirling.
Yeah,
And rightfully
like,
so.
look at me. I was like, oh, it's the most wonderful time of the year. And I was just miserable for 2 months.
Yeah, you were. I mean, no one was very happy at that
Yeah.
point. And then Grant Williams going on, like there was a picture of him like in his new Mavericks jersey, and Tatum was like, "LOL, motherfucker, you ain't this strong." And he was like, "You'll get like me one day, I believe you." And then Grant saying like, "You can't go to your left, you'll just cry to the refs." And then everybody on Twitter's like, "Grant, you literally cry to the refs all the time."
Yeah.
I don't
Just
know,
to circle
man.
back to the loss of Grant, though, one final point that I'd like to
Yeah.
hammer home for the millionth time is they may not feel the loss of Grant this year. You think they may because of absences and things like that. But they are certainly going to feel it down the line when Al Horford starts to age out. He's going to be
Yes.
38 next year. It doesn't make sense to give up on a guy that has a similar skill set. Porzingis is officially the Horford successor. That question has been answered. The problem is they don't have an old man Horford successor. Horford's going to give them a different skill set continuously as he continues to age out. Grant Williams could certainly fill that void. And that's where I think they're going to miss him.
I agree. And I think what is the word? The drawing was in the sand, the whatever it was.
The writing was on the wall.
The writing was on the wall. The line in the sand is what I get confused with. The writing was on the wall when the season ended that Grant Williams probably wasn't going to be back. And at that point, you're kind of hoping they can sign and trade him for something. And the 2 seconds are fine, but like it's just useless. It feels useless.
You
for
forget one of them is a swap.
One of the second. No, there's 3 seconds and one is a swap, I think.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, one's a swap.
There you go.
They can get up
Don't
to
worry.
pick 31 potentially.
Anyways, we just wanted to talk about it. I think the trade was a mess. I think they really botched that. And if they knew this was the plan, they should have just traded him last season. I don't know. It was bad. I don't think they handled it right. And you didn't want to trade him in the middle of the title run. But if you're not going to play him in that title run anyways, like, what are we doing here? It was weird. I don't
Final
like
point,
it. But
Grant, good playoff player. By all accounts.
yes.
First degree in the playoffs, 5.7 points, not the biggest production, but efficiency-wise, 46.1 from the field, 43.3 from
Great
deep,
defense.
in
Blocked a
just
game
under
winner.
20 minutes a game, and he plays defense. Don't miss it.
Blocked a game winner. He's been great. He had big moments for the Celtics. One of the reasons they were able to even make the finals in 2022, because they got past that Bucks team. But yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. We're very close to 1,000 subscribers, and appreciate you guys for listening. I'll let Sam take us out.
Hey, thank you very much for watching. Make sure when you're not watching us, maybe you head over to SeatGeek, use promo code HBTC. Let us help you save some money as you head out to some summer events to keep you busy as you wait for the Celtics to come back. On top of that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, join a bunch of others, right? Make sure you don't miss any of our daily uploads coming at you daily at 5 a.m., keeping you busy, scratching your Celtics itch. Make sure you follow the pod on audio platforms so you can get the full-length pods there as well as YouTube. But if you just want to listen to us, that's fine. Leave a nice review, nice comment, 5 stars. You can follow socials at How About Them C's, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Facebook is just the name of the pod. You can find our live streams there as well as our YouTube page. You can follow Jack on Twitter at JackSmunNBA. You can follow me on Twitter at Sam LaFranceNBA. That's it for us. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Chick Taco. Come on.
Taco's having some fun here.
That is bogus.